Shalom and praise to Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Shem Kadash. The oneness of the apostles at Great Millstone. Salute to you brothers out there teaching the word, sincerity and the truth. There's a lot going on out there in the news and around the world. Parliament suspended, if I'm not mistaken, at the moment. You got some things going over there in Florida. There's a lot happening, and this is just signs of the end and stuff like that. You got, they're saying that Amazon's burning. You got, Florida's got that catastrophe going over there, and there's a lot of things going on. Now, this video here is about the cashless system, and when you read the scriptures, man, you read about the mark of the beast. Now, I'm going to play this. And we're just going to go into it because it's going to be a quick video. But this is the Economist, yeah, and they're talking about a future without cash. The mark of the beast system that we're telling you about, that's major prophecy. In the book of Revelations, you got a lot of these Christian groups that they want to know what the mark of the beast is because they know that it's a major prophecy. So we know these things, bro. Let's play.
Somewhere in the near future, physical money will become like these, relics of a different age, and will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash will disappear. It will become electronic, transferred by things like these. So what's the rush to get rid of cash? And what's the cost?
Now, I don't know if anybody's done a video on this already, but I've just come across this. But it says, it just shows how everything progresses because it showed old radios and you back then you would have never thought that would have been out. Just the same with the cash. No, that ain't gonna happen. No, it's happening as we speak. And this is the Economist themselves telling you that.
Let's face it, money is cumbersome for consumers and banks.
You need to mint the cash, you need to print the bills, you need to transport them in armored trucks, store it in secure vaults, and you need to sort it at the till as well.
Operating in cash costs countries about 0.5% of their GDP every year. But cost isn't the only incentive to move towards a cashless future.
Demand is rising, primarily demand from young generations who are looking for fast, easy-to-use means of payments.
Digital payments aren't just easy, they're neat.
It becomes easier for governments to monitor.
Yeah, they do. It's a generational thing as well. They haven't got to worry about old people because people that are like in their 80s and stuff like that, they're pretty much, they're retired, they're old, they're dead. So they get the young ones, and they I don't know if, they indoctrinate them into the system, the futuristic system, the new world order. Because college people and all that, they're not using cash, they're using cards. They're using cards to travel. And different countries, they use it in different ways. But we see now that cashless technology is in third world countries, even in villages and stuff like that. So the agenda of Esau is to make you want to do away with cash. When you go into the scriptures, let me get a quick scripture out. Yeah, and I don't really want to. I'm going to get a quick one out. Give me a second. Let's cooperate. Yeah. Genesis 13:1. I'm going to go back to. It says, and Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abraham was very rich in cattle and silver and gold. So that's what makes you wealthy. Now let me go back to this because I just had to say that because these Edomites, this debt-based system, these paper notes, they're not backed by gold and it's not wealth. And then people are now going to start using cards, like you can't even see the money. You haven't even got nothing. It's all made up. You're using, tech. That's not true wealth. True wealth is the land and resources. Let's play, man.
Tax evasion and fraud, so we will have less of that going on, probably.
Having every single payment automatically recorded is efficient, but there's a downside.
Let's assume, for example, that a country that used to be democratic, where people were not paying too much attention about safeguarding their privacy, becomes undemocratic and someone wants to control the citizen more closely. They will try to infer from what you buy your political leanings, potentially. And generally speaking, just monitor what you're doing in ways that they shouldn't be doing.
The ballot boxes are kept locked and sealed.
Living in a democratic country doesn't mean you shouldn't be concerned.
They're also worried that private companies perhaps might use this data in ways that are not safe or that you might not like. And for a number of sectors, knowing what you do with your money is very important.
Electronic money trails can allow governments and private companies to access and harvest personal data. But there's another threat that's worrying banks: cyber attacks.
It was a high-tech...
Now, what they're going to do is they're going to, because they're leading this to the RFID implants. And, like, there's devices where if you've got your bank card, people can walk past you with this thing and swipe all the money out of your account. So what they're going to lead it up to is the chip and try and say, well, that's the final stage of security. Because that's what they do, is problem, reaction, solution. They always do that. They bring something out, and it's like it's not pure form, and they find the faults with that. Because that's why they find the faults with cash. Oh, you got to carry it around. You know, you can lose it. You know what I mean? So they're going to say, well, you can't lose your chip because it's in your hand. This is what they're doing, is conditioning. Conditioning used to be like a robot, and that's what the mark of the beast. Cause all both small and great, rich and poor, to get a mark in their right hand of their foreheads that no man might buy or sell, say if he that had a chip.
Bank robbery. Capital One suffering a massive hack attack involving
100 million Capital One customers' accounts.
Had their personal information stolen.
In March 2019, Capital One Bank was hacked.
A sole hacker managed to steal away 106 million people's personal details in a matter of days. And that attack was noticed just a few months after. You can see that a lot of companies are not very well protected yet against such threats. Pretty much every day we hear of data breaches, cyber attacks that are successful. It's much harder to prevent an attack than to be on the hacker side, because you only need to succeed once as a hacker. Once upon a time, you would have two guys coming in, they would tell everyone to be on the floor, they would put the money in a bag and then run away with the money. And you would get insurance against that. You knew what the risk was. Nowadays, with cyber attacks, they can happen anytime, they can take any form, so it's very hard to insure against.
Still, many countries are fast moving towards a cashless society. In Sweden, the number of retail cash transactions per person has fallen by 80% in the past 10 years. The trend is even evident in far more cash-loyal society.
They're chipped over there in Sweden. They've got the mark of the beast. There are people walking around, getting on trains and making transactions. They're actually making transactions with the mark of the beast. So the mark of the beast technology is here. You know what John the Revelator seen is here. It's happening. It's just going to take form on a mass mandatory level across the planet. You've seen they tested that out in America. They're pushing this thing. Security, the army, border checks, all that. FEMA and all that, you know what I mean? It's here, bro.
China's digital payments rose from 4% of all payments in 2012 to 34% in 2017. The trend is inevitable, but a gradual transition is key.
It's important that we have a sort of control as to how fast this happens, because if that's not the case, some people might be left behind.
Some people may find it harder to grasp how much money they have without the physical representation of it. Not everyone knows how to use internet banking technology, and people living in remote areas where internet cover is patchy may find they have to drive for miles for their basic needs. And there's another sector of society that relies heavily on cash.
People living in the street don't carry card terminals with them, so it will be very hard for them, well, first of all, to collect money and to pay for things. They will be among the people who suffer the most from it.
And so Esau's doing his background check on how, when he rolls it out, how is it going to affect people. Now they've even got, for homeless people, they've even got flipping, you can give them donations through Cashless, and they give them accounts. So, Esau's covering everything, and he knows that there's people that are not going to take the chip. He knows that there's going to be undesirables of the New World Order. He's doing his background check. He just showed you that it's checked out people that live in rural areas, how it's going to affect them. People that are poor, how it's going to affect them. He checks all these people out, off the gridders and different. But he checks these things out. That's why it says it's going to cause all, both small and great. And he knows that there's people that are going to defy it. So guess what? People are going to die. A lot of them old people, they're going to die anyway in his head. They're old. We don't really care about them anyway. Or you could even put them on courses, but a lot of them are old up anyway. So he's got things, whatever he's going to do, it mapped out, and he wants to cull the herds anyway. And the scriptures talks about that, man. The earth is barren, and few men left, but before that, you're going to have famines and earthquakes and all that happening. So the earth is going to be emptied of people that are on the planet.
Going cashless is just the latest evolution of money in the modern economy. But it raises a fundamental question. What is the value of money if it doesn't physically exist?
Central banks enact monetary policy by exerting control over the amount of money that is created and that is in circulation. They can do it because they are the only entities that print and create money. The purpose of it is to control the amount of money that is used by the entire economy. In a cashless society, obviously this becomes much harder because money presumably can be created by other entities. And so central banks are actually starting to realize this, especially after Facebook made the announcement that they were going to launch a digital currency. It shows you the extent to which central banks are already thinking about the future of money.
The move towards cashless societies is well underway, but governments need to ensure that as cash is phased out, the vulnerable in society aren't left behind.
So he's got ways of doing that. And see, this shows you what's going on. This is the agenda of the elite. So when we're telling you what's going to happen now, and this is just a chip, this damn chip. Listen, you Israelites are saying that you're going to be forced to, whether you're going to eat or not, you're going to have to take this chip. That's what's going to be. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. So if you don't get chipped, guess what? You're not going to be able to buy food from your local convenience stores. You Jakes ain't got farms. You don't know how to live off the land and all that. You're in the system. So that's going to affect you. So you're talking about, it's just a chip and all that. But this is part of Esau's NWO system. Almost like who's loyal to the NWO, who's going to be my slaves. Because he wants to completely enslave people on the planet. That's part of what this NWO, this the craft, the agenda of the elites is, man. But the law's going to destroy it, you know what I mean? But this is what's going to happen. The law's going to allow that chip to get rolled out mandatory. And you're even going to have Israelites that are going to become martyrs for not taking the mark of the beast too. That's in Revelations 20. So this ain't a joke. This is real serious stuff. And I just wanted to make that quicker. What I'm going to do is I'm try and go live and cover this again in depth. Because this basically, that was the video. You type in the name, you can watch the video for yourself. I seen this on the Economist. I seen it on there, and I said, you know what, bro, this is Esau coming out himself and telling you what's going on, man. You can't get around this. You can't get around the fact that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. And what you're going to do when they mass implement that. Matter of fact, let me get Revelations 20. Sometimes you've got to go into that doom and gloom. And you got Jakes worrying about the fucking Popeye's chicken sandwich, losing their head over that. That must be a damn good sandwich. The way these Jakes are going on over that sandwich. But you see, if they're going like to martial law and all that, implements and all that, you're going to get chipped because they want to get that Popeye's chicken sandwich. Revelation 20:4, and I saw thrones and them that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Because and the scripture talks about them that they were deceived to take it. Because you people just think anything that Esau does, you trust in him more than the Most High. You don't believe in the Most High. The man says, there's a big bang. You believe in that. You believe we evolved from apes and dinosaurs. You believe in that. You believe in the system. You don't believe in the scriptures and the sacred ways of the Creator, man. You believe in what the Esau says, the Queen and country and all that. You believe in that. Whatever they say is true. Yeah, the government's not lying to us. Yeah, let's just get chipped. You can make transactions and all this. You're zombies. You're zombies, and you're gonna die zombies because that's what you are. Okay. So I'm gonna leave that there. The Lord will I can come back and cover this live. And then with that, man, shalom to all the brothers out there, man. There's a lot going on, shalom.